Hello! This song is actually the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate remix of Awake from Circle of the Moon. It is a Castlevania, though. So, like, y'all were close, but not quite. Hey, you know what's weird about music? Does anyone remember Guns the Duel from 2003? Turns out it's got a good soundtrack, actually. Did you know this? I'd forgotten about it. This is the lobby theme, for example. We skip around a little bit. Also, Dual Theme 2. Once again. Skip it forward. Why is the music in Guns the Duel good? Guns the Duel is a game about swords. There are guns in it as well. Other songs include Ryswick Style is the name of this one. Dual Theme 5. Is it known who composed these songs? I wonder. Composed internally for use in the game is all that I can see here. What else we got? Yeah. I don't know if the game has credits in it. It's like a online shooter. Anyway, it's good. I mean, the soundtrack is, the game's not. Well, I mean, some people like the game. I won't be mean. I was bad at it. Regardless, Sucro's sitting on a couch. Hello, Sucro. Let's get to the actual game that we're playing. That isn't Guns the Duel. That's not how you sit on a couch, Palico. Oh yeah, it's kind of like a Gunbound situation. It's like a free-to-play, Korean online... You could argue it's an MMO, it's not an RPG. It's a shooter, it's a third-person shooter with a progression system. And like characters you choose and level up and skins and that sort of thing. By third-person shooter, I mean you have to jump around and swing your sword a lot to fly, and you shoot people in between sword swings. This was not intended gameplay behavior, but it's the singular method of professional guns to duel playing that people did, or do. Sucro's getting impatient, I think. I'm forgetting which buttons because I was just looking at PSO2 for a second. Whoop. The extremely abrupt sitting up from the couch motion when you don't use the emote again. So today on today on Final Fantasy XIV, which is not PSO or PSO2 or PSO2 NGS or PSO BB or PSO Episode 3 or PSU or PSP or PSP2 or PSP2i, we are going to play the main story quests for patch 4.3. I'm going to push the wrong button every time for like 5 years because I was looking at a game with a different control scheme. Juniper could become a cat. Actually, no. Something I just discovered. I investigated the market. This is why I was looking at PSO2 just a second ago. I was investigating the market of both the old PSO2 and PSO2 NGS. And the only tail accessory I could afford was one with like 9 foxtails. So I guess Juniper's a kitsune now. And that's just how things have to go. Or she could have no tail. And there would be lore for this, maybe. I don't know. How's everyone in here doing? Whatever Asahi is planning, we cannot let him have his way. After all Lord Hien has done, the Empire cannot be suffered to hinder Doma's restoration. More often than not, it seems opportunities want to come knocking when the Scions are about. So long as you and yours remain here in Kugane, I'm certain a profitable venture will present itself. Huh. I forgot about those. So I think those are like, they don't change color probably with your hair, and they're probably completely unanimated in a way that's distracting for me. Like it's just a cardboard prop that you glued on or something. Cardboard would wobble more than those did. What I'm saying is the old PSO2 tail accessories don't move at all or have any physics, and it's a little weird to me, somehow. I'm saying this and then realizing, looking at my screen, that Callie's tail is definitely not moving, so I mean, no offense to Callie. It's not every day you make friends with the secret collective of talking animals, after all. Even if Soroban hadn't decided to remain at Racing Temple, I wouldn't have wanted to stay away. Okay, now we're caught up on what everyone said. Gosetsu and Suyu. Why did that unfocus the game? Ah, Sucro, impeccable timing. We've just received a letter from Lord Hien. He writes that the Domans are coordinating their efforts with the Blue Kojun to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. For the Garleans' part, the Populares have sent word that a vessel bearing Doman conscripts is soon to arrive in Yangsha. It would seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. Nod. According to the letter, Yatsu's memory has yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Agreed. Let us make straight ways for the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. Nod. I trust you will cope in our absence, Tataru? Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Nod. As a reminder, the previous stream was the second half of the Four Lords questline. And previously on the main story quest, we spoke to the Empire's ambassador to Doma and arranged a prisoner exchange and the rules for said exchange. Only for the ambassador to openly reveal, to Sucro at least, that he was a scheming shitlord who hated her especially and was gonna do a crime evil plan, and also he sucked. When I say openly reveal, I should make it clear that it was quite obvious from just like the way he spoke and spoke around his words and all that, that he was plotting something. He had a sinister aura about him that was not like a red herring. And now, the prisoner exchange is about to take place. So we must go investigate Tsuyu, or previously known as Yatsuyu, who appears to have lost her memory. But also Asahi, the ambassador, and her brother, gave her a weird mirror and told her to remember herself by looking at it. So I'm sure that nothing bad will happen because of that event. I think I could have teleported directly to the Enclave, but this gave me time to do my best attempt at a little recap. And also we could enjoy the scenery a little bit that I wasn't paying attention to, because I was giving a recap. I can only do so many things at one time. At least 2. Are you allowed to?
:3.
Indeed. I guess Callie never makes a :3 face. She's got more of a Phantasy Star Online Pushan mag face. Sort of. She looks less stressed out than a Pushan does. Lord Heian is expecting you. May I show you in? Yes. How's everyone doing in here? Equals left bracket. True. Ever since he drained our coffers dry by buying that sword, Alphino's had his purse strings in a death grip. I can't even buy a cup of tea without him going on about the dangers of frivolous spending. Alphino, it's okay, we did a whole side quest to fix that problem. We know the broad strokes from his letter, but I would hear the details of our Doman friend's progress from Lord Heian himself. Ah, I see my letter reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there was one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather the worse for wear, and despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Oh no! But we like that guy. Good gods, is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he's already shown signs of recovery. Or he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly, which was all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it high time he received some visitors. Might you spare him a moment? Yatsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what's become of her as well. We shall visit him at once. Sucro, Alize, shall we? Nod. And so we did.
Open wide now.
Please, Tsuyu. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon.
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... A gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
Oh dear.
My lady, I assure you, this is not...
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink.
Okay, well done to Alphino's voice actor there.
What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
Ah, bullet scars. I know what those look like. Due to video game character creators, primarily.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man.
Uh-oh. Oh, one of those is... Yeah, that would...
Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
Yeah, one of those is probably from that, actually. Didn't think about that one.
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman. I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
Didn't think about that. Everyone laughs at Gosetsu.wave. Except for Sukro, she doesn't have a laugh in a cutscene. She can only laugh outside of a cutscene. Honestly, it's a little surprising that they wouldn't, like, pull your character's laughing emote sound for that or something. Maybe they didn't because some of them sound quite sinister. They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think him a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I'm relieved to see Gosetsu has lost none of his spirit. But what a turn of events. I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him. You couldn't make it up. Though I suppose Gosetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he's resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains, he will never again be the warrior he once was. Oh no, I didn't think of that. The official answer... Okay, the official timeline of Final Fantasy XIV is that everything in the entire game happens under 1 year. And by this I mean it is vaguely gestured at that it's been 5 years since the calamity, and that's what everyone has taken that to mean because they never update that count. So, according to the closest thing we have to an official timeline, Alphino would not have known those people a year ago. But also that would... the fact that they just said that calls that into question. It is complete nonsense. I don't know how much time I would personally say passes, but I can say that one of the Sukro facts is that she was meant to be 25 at the start of A Realm Reborn. And I like to imagine that she is older by the end of this whole thing. Because it's ridiculous for no time to pass whatsoever. We do know As a small Shadowbringers spoiler, we do know that a certain amount of time does pass for other characters because they're in a different place where time passes differently for a while. But that still somehow all fits within the entire thing happens in under a year because, well, that's a different place. And also the times eventually line up. Don't worry about it. I hope that one day they will actually, like, have at least a vague timeline. Though it is pretty funny to imagine, for example, like, oh, we sided with the rebellion and won a war against the Empire a week after we showed up. This war had been ongoing for 1 million billion years, and then a week later we solved it. It's fine. Yeah. If you told me 1 year ago that summary of the entire game. Even if his health returns, the fact remains he will never again be the warrior he once was. He's given his all for liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yatsuyu's feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. This is Yugiri's theme now. She stole it with the mug ability. Well, probably the steal ability. She wouldn't want to do damage when stealing this theme. Except steal isn't in this game. Never mind. Yugiri, out of all of us, I would think you the hardest to convince. So what makes you so sure? I've been spying on Yatsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She's remained in character from the first. One evening I watched her as she sat in her chambers unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. A child's game. Even the wariest shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can but conclude that her mind is truly broken. That would actually be really fun. A thief that stole narrative conventions. That sounds great, actually. Steal leitmotif. Steal visual symbolism, as you suggest. And also, yeah, all the characters do change between expansions, implying a passage of time. But no, they just have access to Fantasia's and Jean Delaine. It's fine. Is Jean Delaine the haircut guy name? I think it is. They just have glamour prisms and Fantasia. Well, that's good enough for me and everyone else, I would hazard. Aye, the matter is settled. Yatsuyu will become Tsuyu and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time and prove that her memory is truly gone. But I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she is good as fasten the chains around their necks. Aye, which is why I mean to conclude this business with Tsuyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There's no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Garleans are on their way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks with Tsuyu. Nod. Even after weeks of surveillance, it was difficult for me to accept that Yatsuyu's condition was genuine, but not as difficult as accepting Gosetsu's affection for her. The skiff will take us to our meeting with the ambassador. We will join you at the docks once preparations have been made. Thinking about what other abstract or, like, meta things a thief could steal. Is that how Ramza stole character development in the Evil East questline? Did he have the job ability steal character development and he used it on the funny rock or whatever it was? The necklace? That must be it. Can you imagine Yatsuyu playing with bulls on the floor? I don't know that we can think of her as the same person anymore. Shall we wait here then? Lord Heian should not be long. My friends, have you seen Tsuyu? She's nowhere to be found. Gasp. What? But the Garleans will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yugiri is scouring the streets as we speak, but it's possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. I remember this part. I know where she is. Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord? I do not rightly know. I think... Yes, my lord. Now that you mention it, there was a lady among the passengers whom I do not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as new fallen snow it was. Was she someone important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No, I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. Nod. Bow. It would seem that Tsuyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. Anyway, do you want some armor, I guess? No? No good can come of this. Hooray! It's fine. Her memory must have returned. Why else would she run? Without Tsuyu, I cannot see how the prisoner exchange, or indeed the peace process at large, can proceed. We have to find her, and soon. Though his face betrays little sign of panic, Heian is plainly desperate to find Yatsuyu before something terrible happens. It seems Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami, help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. I must find her before that happens. The responsibility for her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me, but I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Heian, now as before. Let us make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Someone should let Yugiri know what we've learned. I'll join you on the other side. For as much as I remember Alize as like the rush in, fight first, ask questions later type of person, she does seem to be a lot more reasonable than that a lot of the time, actually. She's probably just the sort of person who doesn't give herself credit for how reasonable and, like, wise she can be. Anyway, we have no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we'd best divide our forces. I will take Kusakari and its surrounds. Alphino, if you would take the road to Castrum Fluminis. Sucro, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yazuka Manor? One of the Namazu might well have seen our quarry. May well have seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope the Kami smile upon our efforts. Oh, that is right there. Right. That's probably why I've been assigned to this location, is because it's right here. Welcome to Yazuka Manor. Yes, if there's anything you care to know, you need only... Huh? A pale-skinned woman? I've seen no such traveler, I'm sorry to say. Most sorry, scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have in abundance. I'm sure this is fine too. Unusually pale skin? Yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She just crossed the shallows east of here and was headed in a northeasterly direction, for the most part. Her steps did not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her. It's kind of interesting how insistent the game and a lot of the characters are at referring to her as Yatsuyu, even though she's Tsuyu at the moment. No sign of Yatsuyu to the north. Perhaps she's off somewhere farther off to the northeast. Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe that in the UI is meant to represent the player character's doubts, but that might be giving the UI too much credit. It'd be cool if it did, though. I don't think the UI has ever referred to her as Tsuyu, except for when she's an NPC with the name above her head, maybe? Hello, and welcome. Still no sign of Yatsuyu. Perhaps she's yet farther to the northeast. By the way, from what I remember, I'm fairly confident that this patch is a particularly good one story-wise. So stay tuned. Not that I was expecting anyone to abruptly stop staying tuned. I don't know. I just wanted to say that. Nowhere to be seen, but lying on the ground a short distance to the north, you spy a familiar-looking wide-brimmed hat. I thought the bamboo hat was on this person's, like, head for a second, but no. Collect hat. A cursory glance is all that's required to confirm your suspicions. It's the same hat Yatsuyu was wearing when you found her in Sakazuki. Ominous music, theme of hat. Sucro, before you ask, our search of Kusakari and its surroundings has yielded exactly naught. Save this chance reunion with you, I suppose. Mistress Alize has gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Hien here shortly thereafter. How did you fare at Yuzuka Manor? Any sign of our missing guest? Nod. Explain. Towards Namai. By the Kami, if the villagers recognize her, it will not end well. That was a weird read. We must hurry. Yugiri and I will check the patties. The village square is yours. Sometimes you just read a line weird, and that's just how it is. And if you're a voice actor, sometimes you read a line weird and then they keep it in because... I don't know, because it's Chaos Wars or something? None of the people in Chaos Wars were professional voice actors in the English version, though, actually.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Congratulations for calling that she was here for the persimmon. That's too bad. I never remember the reading of That's Too Bad from Chaos Wars.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
Well, this is gonna make her memories return, probably.
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
Close-up on model that's not necessarily designed to emote as much as the other ones. So it just looks like the Lupin is going like, hey, hey. Or like, I don't know what expression that is.
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
Yeah, that kind of expression.
What did I... What did I do?
As if you don't know!
She doesn't, though.
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
This is going
My
to...
lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsugu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies! My lord, she would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then... It's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Yeesh.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands, and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
I wonder... Is the Shadowbringers writer working more on the MSQ at this point? Because the emotions are beginning. She is labeled as Yatsu. I don't know why everyone is so angry, but I got the fruit Gosetsu wanted. I hope he likes it. All of this over a persimmon. I failed to consider how she might endanger herself. Knowing she has the mind of a child, I should have continued my vigilance, not relaxed it. Yeah. That would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. Judging by Suyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was no escape attempt. Did we not all hear her say what I saw was true then? I think that implies less obliviousness. Nay, it seems like it was an offhand request of Gosetsu's which brought her to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Ha, and they say fruit is good for the health. I do hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we have certainly taken the long way around, but let us continue on to Castrum Fluminis in our meeting with the ambassador. Alphino and Alize should be there, conducting their search. So what do you think of all this, Palico? Any opinions on this adventure you've abruptly decided to join in on? Probably not. Not until there's monsters to hunt, at least. All Palicos these days know how to do is have hot drink and lie. Just kidding, they removed hot drinks from Monster Hunter. Do we have to stay here long? He'll be waiting for his fruit. I was sure Yatsuyu had fled, but it seems her memory hasn't returned at all. How foolish of me not to consider Gosetsu's craving for seasonal fruit. Lord Hien informed us of the uproar at Namai. Think the 12 you found Yatsuyu when you did. I dare not think what might have happened had you not. The Imperial airship has arrived. Whether our conscripts are aboard remains to be seen. It seems our Imperial guests have already arrived. It is time to meet with the ambassador.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
Time for this guy to not hide how sinister he is in the way he speaks.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
I took the liberty of doing something evil, or something, probably. I mean, he's smirking quite sinister-like. Oh. Oh, I remember this. Oh. Oh.
Ah, Yotsuyu.
Oh.
You look well.
Oh. Yeah, this part. Remember those flashbacks we saw of how Yatsuyu's family treated her? Yay!
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Ah, she was carrying the mirror.
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family.
This fucking
Lest you
guy.
doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Doma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
Yeah, that's the correct reaction to Asahi. But as I said before, I think he's the most interesting and well-written villain in the Stormblood section of the game. And the most, like, hateable in a way that you're supposed to hate a villain. Like, this guy is terrible.
We
But, like,
continue with the exchange as planned then.
in a well-written sort of way.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
Everyone disliked this, is the response to this individual that we are dealing with in universe. Ominous rain. Yeah. That's my opinion, basically, too. And, like, to Stormblood's credit, like, I don't like Yatsuyu in 4.x. I mean 4.0. But in 4.x, the story about Tsuyu and how all of her stuff relates to Asahi and whatnot is part of why he's a well-written and interesting villain. So, like, as much as I hate Yatsuyu in the main 0.0 of Stormblood, afterwards, she works well for the story. I knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I've sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri to give Gosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. Nod. You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Yeah, exactly. That's basically how I feel about it. Oh, nothing of consequence, most like. We can discuss it upon our return. Questioning shrug. And so we returned. I suppose Tsuyu is to become an official Doman citizen, but what then? Will they keep her hidden here forever, or might she one day be allowed to walk amongst her countrymen? So it would seem there will be one less prisoner at the exchange. I only hope Yatsuyu's presence here will not present further problems. We should pay a visit to Gosetsu and reassure him about Tsuyu's fate. He will want to know that the Empire has finally relinquished its claim on her.
Gosetsu, are you awake?
But where is Tsuyu?
Come in, come in.
Cushions have been deployed.
When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
I think we should probably
Yotsuyu
make
was
sure
mistreated
she's in
as a
her
child,
chambers.
was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
Oh, was that well-known knowledge? I forgot that we all knew this.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
Yeah. That's definitely a mood. Though again, as a villain, I like how he is written. But as a person, wow, he sucks.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention.
Everyone turns to
I
look
assume
at...
you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder...
Oh, I didn't notice that, actually.
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
Well...
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
Fascinating choices of background music suddenly in this patch, by the way. Both during the whole Asahi scene and also this one. I can't remember exactly where this song plays before, but like, they haven't used it suddenly for the mood of it before.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Nod. Persimmon 2. Somehow I doubt it was as simple as that or a party favor. A pile of party favors in those crates. Somehow I doubt things are rather more... Or somehow I imagine things might be rather more serious. Sucro is looking.
Help! Help!
Sucro has found something. Oh. Hey, that guy looks familiar. From 2 seconds ago.
Help! Help me!
Oh, Asahi's father, not Yatsuyu's father? Interesting distinction. I mean, I have no doubt that Yatsuyu would not associate with her parents if at all possible. So that makes sense.
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
I forgot about this part. This particular part of this part, I should say.
Who's there?
And here's these two.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu. A font of misery.
I think that's what you were for her, lady.
You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks, at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price for
Jesus
the right
Christ.
buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugane and start a new business.
Hey, didn't you already do that once in the past, you piece of shit garbage? Anyway, speaking of things you deserve, or whatever, one of you was just saying you didn't deserve something. However, there's something you do deserve, I think.
My beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be.
Yo.
Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu!
What?
To the stars. Under the heavens.
You
Eggs
can't
can't
play
be
that
taught
now.
any moves. Bragging of bad luck.
You can't do that. Hey, this is serious times. Wow. Anyway, this fucker is also here. I didn't catch what the words of that haiku even were.
Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise.
Hey Asahi, you realize she still has a knife, right? I guess you have a sword.
You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
What's with the mirror?
Please. I don't want to die.
You deserve it, though, dude.
Any sign of her? What happened here?
Explaining.
I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
Nod. I should have expected that redeem to happen during that scene, actually. But I was still too blindsided by it to actually process when the timing was or what the words were. Yatsu, you hid her recovery well. I had no inkling that her memory had returned. I keep asking myself when it could have happened. At the meeting with her parents, perhaps? But then why would she... Nay, there's not to be gained from such conjecture. I mean, I feel like if I explained what I just saw to you, Giri, she might have a little bit more information. So Yatsuyu has returned to the bosom of the Empire after all. I cannot say I'm surprised, but what I struggle to fathom is Asahi's aim in all this. Well, I'll have to look at that clip later. I can see the thumbnail for it. So Asahi got his way in the end, and at an unspeakable price. He really is a vile little worm, isn't he? We have recovered the Nairis's remains and will hold the cremation anon. Would that they had never again set foot in Doma. I broke the news to Gosetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best he be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. Welcome, hello. You just missed, well, Yatsuyu's parents got killed. And the destroyed redeem happened during it, and I wasn't prepared. Even though I should have been. So things are going normal around here. So, my friends, that which we feared has come to pass. Yatsuyu has regained her memory and returned to the Imperial fold. I mean, relative to the other times we've had that redeem play in this game, that one was like the most serious. I've only been live for like an hour. Is 4.3 really short or something? So, my friends, that which we feared has come to pass. Yatsuyu has regained her memory and returned to the Imperial fold. It is, by any measure, a cruel twist, not least for Gosetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we were bound to surrender Yatsuyu into the Garlean's hands should her condition improve prior to the hour of the exchange. By that reckoning is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. This I can accept. I think I missed a word. 4.2 was long enough for a whole stream. It was a few hours, but this has only been an hour so far. And honestly... oh no. God. I think it's just going to be a tradition to use that redeem often, huh? Like anytime, any scene anyone knows. Oh boy. That's gonna be something else. This is the world I've created for myself, and I must accept it. It was funny, for the record. But it was also the most serious scene that redeem has been played over so far in the existence of that. Anyway, all is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. But what I cannot accept are the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct, and his apparent admiration for Xenos, it's plain that he's a little shit. I mean, he cannot be trusted, and that is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, I would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution. If the main structure of Castrum Fluminis is to be the stage for the exchange, then I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The Citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it's entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage. I will slip inside and make certain we have an unobstructed exit. Pray allow me to join you. I have some experience of Imperial facilities, and should matters take a turn for the worse, I would hope to be of at least some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we will need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skip we have, it would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibune, on the other hand, would require only a single run, and leave us far less vulnerable on the water. Assuming, of course, that Rasho can be convinced to part with one. Might I take the lead on this? I've had dealings with Rasho and his pirates before. And I won't be alone, will I, Sucro? You can count on me. Much appreciated. I quite fancy parlaying with pirates again. It's just a shame Lise won't be there to reprise her role. I'm certain you would make a persuasive pair, but I think I will accompany you to these negotiations all the same. My lord, the ruler of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, Yugiri, they stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we must treat with them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord, pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alphino and I shall be about our task. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short and Rasho may take some convincing. Nod, nod. So hey, anyone who doesn't know the story, want to take any bets what they can... Want to take any guesses about the containers that have been mentioned? Because I'm like 90% sure I remember what they are. 95%, 98% maybe. But anyone who doesn't know, I might be interested to know what ideas anyone else had. If there is anyone who doesn't know, because I know a lot of the viewers at the moment do have in fact played this part of the game. But they sure do be making a big deal about all the containers. Hey, what's up? In my mind, Yatsuyu is deserving of only one fate, memory loss be damned. If you don't have the stones for it, we'd be happy to take on the burden. It'll be over nice and swift. I've just remembered that I haven't gone and talked to a certain person. Hold on. I want to go check something. I think this is closest. Box is full of crystals, eh? Does seem to be the best way to transport those, for whatever reason. Once again, I'm reminded that I need to change the color of the channel point crystals because my theme color is purple now. So I guess I'd be making them lightning aspected, but I'm not really that myself, but purple, but who knows? It's all a mystery. Oh, Callie has green eyes. Maybe they're Calico's crystals. They do give her the power of text-to-speech. Anyway, we're here because I was told at some point that this person has unique stuff to say often. To the ends of the world and back again. Yes, we know of your deeds in the West. What will come of them only the gods know, but for now, welcome home. That doesn't seem super unique to anything recent. But it was interesting to check, and it's definitely dialogue she didn't have before. I wish I remembered how to say her title. But I don't. Anyway. Now there's a face I didn't expect to see. What brings the noble lord of Doma into the company of bilge rats such as we? If you've come to offer Doman chains in place of Garlean ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. And what fine subjects you would make! With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Explaining. Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle. And I would not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all this? Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever even heard of doing the right thing? And yeah, the pirates functionally are their own government. Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace. Deny us our due, and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning, but we're not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mistress Alize. We did not come here to moralize, we came here to talk. And there is more to be said. According to records recovered after the liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Hien. The losses we suffered at the Garleans' hands are no secret, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Nod. Very well, the Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she's yet to be declared seaworthy. She's sound enough down below, but when you load her up with conscripts and the waterline rises, those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you will do me the favor of swimming around the hold to check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman Lords are not averse to getting their robes wet. Not this Doman Lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. That's the spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanashi. And I thought I had a knack for parlaying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Hien laughter. Well, well, I thought the rumors exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. Which reminds me, I was talking earlier about Sucro's laugh being, how they could have probably used the player character's laugh for a voiced cutscene where everyone was laughing. And I said that some people's laughs, some player characters' laughs sound kind of vaguely evil or villainous or concerning. Have I ever had Sucro laugh on stream? That's a little evil cackle kind of type of a laugh. She sounds a little bit villainous. I wouldn't say that she is. I'd say that she's a cat. Oh, we're just saying the laugh is cute and fun? I feel like it sounds a little bit scheme. A little bit criminally inclined. Oops. Wait. I have a screenshot hotkey on the controller? If I press L1 and start at the same time, it takes a screenshot? What? Since when? Cool, okay. Maybe I'll remember this. Have I shown many Sucro emotes on... Oh shit. That's really important and good to know. I mean, reaching to the keyboard to press a couple of buttons that are right next to each other isn't too difficult in my situation, but like, it's still more convenient to use the controller when possible. Anyway, have I shown many Sucro emotes? There are some pretty funny noises in here somewhere. I think it's... Fume. Sucro? What a noise. She's powering up. Watch out. All right, moving on. I had no idea about those controller shortcuts. This plank is suspicious. No signs of damage. Hello, Hien. The water is so invigorating. I have not swum in the Ruby Sea since... but I should be concentrating on the task at hand. That's a pretty good description. For once, I'm actually glad Yugiri isn't here. I doubt she would have taken kindly to a pirate inviting Hien to inspect his hull. A small crack in one of the planks. Gasp. Now that Beyblade has been mentioned, I just have to think of classic video on the internet. Classics of Game #1, which is a clip of Beyblade, or a Beyblade PS1 game? Wherein the announcer just keeps going, well, and then knocked off the stadium, etc. Now I'm thinking about the Titan fight with the knocked off the stadium voice clip.
Well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't remember this part either, but like, it's not surprising me, so I guess I like vaguely remembered it. Hi, I'm the shipwright, apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seemed solid enough. There was a small crack. On the port side near the bow, you say? All right, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. I could float in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Hien. The captain sent you to inspect the hull? Kami, have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. Ah, 'tis quite all right. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. I take it you are of Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising, and I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How fair is Our Lady? Is she seaworthy? Captain, we found a small crack in the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you've met the boy. Did he tell you his story? He babbles when he's nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts, as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life. If he so chooses, I expect you to see they are provided for. I've heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it. I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them, but the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot, but he has scarce dipped his toes with us. If there's a life for him in Doma, he should have a chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more. Be it in Yangsha or out on the Ruby Sea, we have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. Then the matter is settled. I will make preparations to cast off. I bet Hien could do that, yeah. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave. Yeah, I like this little interlude, actually. I didn't notice this Aura lady before. I probably didn't go over here before. 1, she says, counting this one barrel. Okay, 2, 3, 1. I can still count to 3. Good to know. Okay. It's important to check up on yourself now and then. Okay, I could just go here. I probably hadn't been over to this boat before, which is why I didn't notice her. For some reason, she stood out to me. I think she actually had the haircut where she had 2 separate colors of horns, actually. Oh, really? I have some emotes. I wonder if I have that one, actually. It's probably in special. Yep. I've got that one. Sucro's counting the tiles on the ground instead. Lord Hien is expecting you. Alphino tells me they had little trouble finding a suitable route out of the castrum, but he won't say much more than that. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was hiding something, though I can't imagine what. The castrum was deserted, quite deserted. It was a simple matter to plot the surest path out, hence our swiftness. We found the castrum's tower unoccupied and betraying no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes awaited us there. Alphino seemed oddly reluctant to linger, but I saw naught to concern us. Oh, did Alphino suspect a ghost? Would Alphino be afraid of me? Oh no. I didn't think about this before. It seems Yugiri and Alphino completed their task before us. They've been waiting. We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy has pledged a ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have but to attend the exchange and pray to the kami these precautions were unnecessary. I will take an infusion of vitality, I guess, because I'm a tank. I'm not going to use it unless I use it right now. Haha! I've been medicated for 30 seconds. With an image like this, I can't imagine it going well. This is like a dramatic anime confrontation, which I guess this would be because this game is kind of anime. I guess. While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Hakuro in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. He will see they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they await us on the riverbank not far from the castrum. Nod. I guess more than specifically an anime confrontation, it looks like an anime openings shot of 2 characters who are rivals looking at each other. Especially with like the Imperial flag framed in the background that way. You could say that. Though it looks more like a diamond to me because the square's been rotated. Completely missing the point of the joke on purpose as a joke. You could say there, Enix, question marks. You could say they're Square Enix. That's not funny. Why am I laughing? Okay. Sometimes you have to make yourself laugh. That random Lupin just howled at the sky for no reason. And that's valid, I think. I think people should be allowed to howl at the sky for no reason if they want to. There was a period of time whenever I saw a full moon when I whispered a woo. I whispered a woo at it under my breath and then laughed to myself because I'm a dork like that. And yes, exactly, Ochette. Do not worry about the ship. It will be where it needs to be, and with Tansui at the helm. The tower rather spoils the view across the river, does it not? I concede we might perhaps have chosen a less ominous place to conduct the exchange. I'm sure it's ominous for a good reason. My only concern is the safe return of our people. That's what my lord wishes, and that's what shall be done. No matter what Asahi throws at us, we cannot let that monster have his way. Wait, did I actually speak to you? Would that we had some hint as to the ambassador's intentions. Had we not prepared for the worst, I should be wary of going through with this at all. Your party is assembled, then? Aye, and ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though, the tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape and lend what support we can. Nod. Your ship awaits you at the Castrum's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their part. Come, let us be about it. Cutscenes. But not many in sequence, just a few. Ominous music. Hey, there's all the crates. Now they're very framed in the shot, like, so you don't miss them now that they've been mentioned several times.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Doma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are.
That's quite possible. I feel like a way you could describe the way Asahi speaks is that there's a silent asterisk after everything he says, indicating a footnote to clarify that the meaning is not what he said.
Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
I just think crates are cool.
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Doma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion. Welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Wow, they had her outfit around.
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Nayuri. Widow of Sashihai. And acting Viceroy of Doma! You and your people are mine to govern. Mine to punish!
Yatsuyu's back to being Yatsuyu. I wonder if she was rehearsing this for a while, though.
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
Well, they also supplied her with tobacco.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself.
Well. Evil grin.
I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken.
Yeah, that's probably true.
This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
It was crystals! Surprise! Here's my crystal crate opening device with the sole purpose of opening the crates of crystals.
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Are we up to 4 already? Really? Shiva's the only one that immediately comes to mind. And this one. Hey look, it's the moon. I guess we're at Inwalker now. That was fast. What happened to Shadowbringers? Oh, I don't think the moon's having a good time. Oh, that would explain why I didn't think of the other two immediately, because I didn't consider Louisoix or Thornton as magical girl primals. Okay, but if Louisoix and Thornton are magical girl primals, doesn't that mean we're actually up to like 15 because of the Heavens Ward all counting separately? Or do they not count separately? Anyway, this is happening. How many people are in the Heavens Ward? I was just assuming 12.
A Doman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
Did you think it was just a primal summoning? It was also a legal loophole for Asahi to be a shitlord again. Also, this music that's happening. Dire rendition of the measure of his/our reach.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
By the way, this guy,
as you command,
despite following orders, not actually a bad guy, generally, as slightly evidenced by the hesitation, perhaps. Anyway, it's Sucro time.
You must fall back!
Yugiri, you should also fall back. You don't have the echo. I don't remember the instant death gimmick at all, but I guess I wouldn't mind you mentioning it.
You ask me to run?
You both need to run. Leave this to me! It's Sucro time.
Against such a foe, I would be more hindrance than help. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
Okay, if I spend too long in one half of the arena, I die. Cool, got it. Yahtzee would think tempering's beneath her? I feel like... I don't know. There's a lot... There would be a lot of oddities with tempering there. Because, like, she would just have complete control over everybody. But also, like, they would all just be blindly obedient. And I don't know if she wants that. I think she wants to watch everyone struggle and die, more so. So that'd probably actually be not what she would want. Anyway, I don't really want to talk about what Yatsuyu wants, because now that she's Yatsuyu again, I don't like her, or her motivations, or general design of her personality, let's call it. Okay, moon icon over my head, debuff stacks. Switch to the other half at 2, maybe. Okay. Regardless.
My lord.
Evacuate everybody, please. Oh, it could be 5?
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours.
Yep. I'm the warrior of killing you.
Tsukuyomi,
Tsukuyomi
goddess
is how you
of
say
the
that.
moon,
Okay.
and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty?
The power of my cool sword and my 7 allies that I will summon
all
abruptly.
I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail.
Nah, I'm fine.
Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Doman. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
All right there, Nightmare Moon. Calm down. I can't call you Nightmare Moon. Luna is, like, way better than Yatsuyu. When not a primal. Is Nightmare Moon a primal? Please discuss whether Nightmare Moon from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a primal. Why? BRB from the computers. Whoop. I will return shortly. Benoy is correct. Though a false Benoy, an evil Benoy who shall be destroyed. But I'll be right back. Hello, I am back. Craters of eternal darkness, you say? Sanity effects, you say? That won't be happening. That's a joke because they say this can't be happening. Anyway, thank you for actually discussing slightly whether Nightmare Moon would be a primal or not. I didn't expect to be thinking about My Little Pony today, but I am. I've suddenly remembered the episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic where Princess Luna attempts to celebrate Halloween while everyone is afraid of her, and she doesn't know how to not be super dramatic in medieval words, speaking in Middle English and whatnot. Well, not entirely Middle English. Just the sort of formality in speech that is not contemporary. Here's all the crystal boxes. Oh, you can't sit in one, but if I fits, I must sit. Come on, Tsukuyomi. I can't even sit in the funny boxes. I blame you for this. Anyway, oh. Who wants in? There's 3 people online. I'm not sure if everyone wants to join, so I need to make sure. It's very funny that she's just standing there, or floating there. But yeah, in that one episode of My Little Pony that I'm thinking about, there's a particular scene where Luna like explodes a minigame or something, probably, I don't remember. And then she enthusiastically demands, "How many points do I receive?" And that particular phrase is a little bit stuck in my brain. Just thinking about it. Oh, you're... okay. She is there for the fun having. Just give me a moment, sorry. Okay. I gotta stay in here with the music. So. I can stand on these. I'm just not allowed to jump on the crates. Are these objects just here to designate the crate area? Because they aren't anywhere else in the room. They're just surrounding the crate rectangle, actually. Also, the crates are like arranged in a specific way that is almost like part of the Empire's flag. It's vaguely like an 8 kind of shape, or 2 diamonds, sort of. Thankfully, we didn't have to wait as long as the time described. Unless this other DPS has fallen asleep waiting for 5 years. Okay, they woke up. I always imagine the final person not joining the party as having fallen asleep waiting for the roulette. Anyway. She turned around so that she could turn around again dramatically once we all got here. And then she like blew some smoke, but not enough smoke for it to serve as a transition into the fight.
Oh, it's going to be a long night.
Oh, I'm doing my rotation wrong already. That's fine.
Your end is near. Your death will be all the sweeter.
Why does it fade away? I understand. It feeds on my spite, on my suffering. Come forth, shades of the dead, curse my name, strike my body, fill my soul with blackest malice. Interesting. Forgot about that. Forgot about this phase of the fight. It makes a lot of sense. Oh, even living people get to be specters. Oh, and the music here is like science theme. Oh. Your pitiful fortunes can bring you no lower, says Spectre of Xenos. You come to deliver judgment for my failure? Cut me down then. Surely it's a simple task. And then there's Gosetsu. Stay behind me, Tsuyu. Why? You have no place here. You must survive, Tsuyu. The kami spared us, and we cannot repay that boon in death. Tsuyu must survive. Perhaps, but it's too late for me. There can be no redemption. A night bloom shall flower here upon the site of my demise. And here's...
In darkness blooms the spider.
And here's the Phase 3 theme.
From mortal height, I rise anew. Suffused with night, I shall prevail.
Okay. Here's the gimmick. The gimmick is occurring now.
Excellent. In moonlight's chill shine petals pale.
I don't know what that means.
Whoa!
Shoutouts to me for remembering to use intervention on the main tank twice so far during tank busters. 2 out of 2. I'm doing well. I'm doing the off-tank action correctly. Oh, I've made my rotation mess up though. That's fine.
No. Not yet. Not yet.
This is far from over. My bloodied hands have much left to accomplish.
I'll grind you under my heel.
Oh. This fight is cool. You say it's spicy mechanics, but it doesn't feel that dangerous. Maybe because I'm a tank. Oh, did they?
I'll grind you under my heel.
Oh, okay. Now it's getting concerning a little bit. Oh no, I could have used that earlier to maybe save a life. I don't think the tank busters usually look like that. I can't carry any more poetics off. Beans. I forgot to spend my tomestones of poetics. No! Anyway, I win. A linear tank buster? Like it's a line directed at the tank or something? A line AoE? Is that what that means? Finishing move! I win. Oh, it was a cone in that case. Okay. So I shouldn't be standing too close to the tank when that marker appears, if I'm the off tank. You don't sound like you're doing too well. Oh. Guess whomst? It's this guy, but he has a gun now. In case you weren't convinced that Asahi was a terrible person yet.
You really must learn to finish the job.
He's about to
That
be...
a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down.
Asahi is about to demonstrate how he's a little less, I don't know a good word for it. That could be a way to say it, maybe.
Such hostility. These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
Check out this facial expression. Remember when I said they were starting to get really good with facial expressions? I think the first time I was playing this game, this scene is when that really got my attention, that they were starting to use facial animation a lot. What if this was the thumbnail of the video? Would that be fine?
Ha! You cannot, of course.
Okay, maybe
to
this
do
even.
so would burn the
No.
bridges we have labored so hard to build.
Let's not put the corpse in the background of the video thumbnail. That's a spoiler. And a little
I'm
bit
forgetting.
concerning.
They're already ash. This Doman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point.
This could be the thumbnail as well. The many faces of Asahi Sas Brutus. Well, it's pretty similar to the previous face. Also, this is basically a JoJo pose, probably. Oh, yeah. Sucro's done with this shit.
It should have been mine.
Yeah.
The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
I think a good way of what I was trying to say earlier is that if you didn't think Asahi was a complete monster, he's about to show that he's more monstrous than he even seemed. Sucro does not.
No one alive loves him more than I!
God. Also a face.
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth!
Yeah.
Worthless whore!
Hey, idiot. Guess who still has a knife? Or maybe not quite a knife.
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance.
Knife parentheses magic. Oh, swords. Those are just knives, but like more.
These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives.
I didn't realize it was the Gosetsu and Xeno spirit swords. God, Asahi being killed by a manifestation of Xenos' sword too? I'm sure he hates that a lot, huh? Oh yeah, that's also true. He totally didn't realize that he was just building her super meter, essentially. Rule of fighting games, taking damage is one way to build meter in some of them, I'm pretty sure. Probably. I don't know fighting games, what am I talking about?
Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see.
Oh, I just meant...
The first I swore to kill.
I meant Asahi and Xenos' sword in a mundane way of the fact that he looks up to Xenos so much and that he's been killed by Xenos' sword is just like an extra bit of salt in the wound or whatever, as you would say. I didn't mean it in any other way, if that's what you're getting close to implying. Or maybe that's just my tendency to read into everything too much. Mechanics are for cars.
Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied.
Now I'm just thinking about Asahi flailing about and like making all those faces in that previous cutscene, or the same cutscene, in the previous part of this cutscene, but he's just yelling like, "You do not pay for my subscription, I can do as I please." Anyway,
You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you.
Yeah, basically. Well, what do you have to say? Hello, I'm a cat. Did you know that?
What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
I suppose the innocent Suyu almost lived. Suyu deserved a kinder fate.
Her happiness was never to be. Not in this world. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Some part of her cared, yeah. Suyu was still part of Yatsuyu.
Lord Xenos.
Of course, your final words are just like, Xenos. Oh, I get to... Yeah, it's amazing that through Suyu, you kind of end up caring about Yatsuyu a little bit.
I am at your disposal.
Asahi, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
Yep.
When
Xeno
you
should
have
be
found her,
dead.
you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps.
I forgot that Xenos just outright planned all this. But also, hey, Xenos sure knows how to call forth an icon. Normal.
Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable. But as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
Xenos kind of sounds a little different too.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
Okay, since it's still in my brain, I'm going to say that one final note about the mention of quote-unquote Xenos' sword earlier. I'm going to say, please remember to be careful and follow the rules, thank you. That's all. As long as you understand, it's fine.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Also, none of this sounds like stuff that Xenos would say, based on what we've seen of Xenos before.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord.
I suppose he didn't fail. Anyway, I just...
My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
And Asahi doesn't care that none of it sounds like anything Xenos would say, because... of course he doesn't.
You have prevailed, I see.
Well, that's one way to put it, Hien, I guess. Oh, Gosetsu is here. Yeah, exactly.
She is gone.
Well, Xenos wanted a challenge. I don't know if he wanted to lose, exactly.
The Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain.
I guess he was pretty glad to lose, but yeah. Poor Gosetsu. We're gonna sweep the floor? Anyone?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I think that's more or less what I was trying to say, so thank you for finding the words for me.
Lord Hien!
I'm still here, says Maxima. Surprise.
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now. But our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here. But it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Both of these are true. I saw a vision of Asahi's past. I've been saying Asahi, but I think it's Asahi. Slightly different way to pronounce that. Or Xenos was behind this plot. Both of these are true. Well, this one is the most true.
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
Indeed.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
Are we gonna have to go dig up Xenos' remains? I think that's something that happens. I'm having this memory.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an imposter has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
I love Maxima being here and just like not trusting Asahi just enough to like... Just this guy that Asahi probably didn't even care about at all has foiled this plan, at least to some degree.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
And I also just like that... I like to see, oh, there's a person of evil empire who's not evil. Wow. That's
Tread
good to see
lightly,
sometimes.
Midas. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Yeah.
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Asian waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I picked up on that actually in that flashback. Specifically Xenos instructing how to summon an icon. I was like, oh, that's normal. Nope, it means Asians. That's the only reason Xenos would know that.
Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Alphino
Were
makes
you
a good
indeed
point.
willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
Yeah, exactly.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk her life on countless occasions. Next to her, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield.
Yep, it's those wacky Asians again. And yeah, Asahi's hopes being dashed by Maxima's pretty good, is what I'm saying.
I can make a difference.
What I'm trying to say,
I can
at
strike
least.
bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
A weird noise might have gotten through the mic, my mistake. I hate noises. This is your moment, or I believe in you, Alphino. I think Sucro would say this one.
Tis not for me to stop you, but I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Makes sense.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Nod. Oh, for sure. Alphino has been... What's the word for secondary protagonist? Deuteragonist? Something like that? If not the protagonist, Alphino is certainly that other one.
Deuteragonist.
Deuteragonist. That one. Thank you, dictionary read by push button dot internet. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Oh, that, absolutely, yeah. You capitalized Garlemald once, but not both times. It's the instinct of typing in lowercase online, fighting with the instinct of capitalizing proper nouns as you were told to do. And one time, the proper noun won, and the other two times, the internet won. Or your style of typing, or whatever. Though I don't know if I haven't been paying that close attention to how every individual person chooses to capitalize things. That would just be my explanation for why I would have done such a thing. I typically type in all lowercase and use capitals to emphasize things rather than denote proper nouns. But that's me. Gosetsu dragged himself here from his sickbed only to be greeted by the sight of Yatsuyu's corpse. I had not the words to comfort him. Ah, Alphino, you impulsive fool. I thought about trying to talk him out of it, but I know what I would say if the roles were reversed. Stubbornness is something of a family trait. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning. Thank the Kami you were here, my friend. None of us would escape Yatsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. 'Tis little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. A rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest. But the vessel yet waits on the riverbank for those who did not flee in time. And I suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss the joyous reunion. I was talking with the mic muted for a second. Whoops. But I mentioned this before, but I think I might as well mention it again since you asked. And I can't expect everyone to remember everything. That would be silly. I don't remember most things. Point is, I will be doing all of the role quests for Shadowbringers and Endwalker. The only role I do not have a job at 90 for already is tank, and
how often have I imagined
I'm
this
working on
moment?
it, so
Thank you for helping it come to pass.
by the time we get to the role quests, we will be at the appropriate level for the role quest as Paladin. And we've got Dancer, Summoner, Scholar, and Reaper for the other 4. So yeah, doing all the role quests. And since you asked, I might as well mention that the specific way I plan to do all of the role quests is basically like main story. Well, for example, with Shadowbringers, role quests 1 will be done along with the main story because you are supposed to do it that way. Then we will do part of Eden. Then we will do 5.1 and role quest 2. So basically, the way role quests will go once they start existing is I will go down like I've been doing a pattern of main quest, patch, or MSQ, side quest, MSQ, side quest. It will change into a pattern of MSQ, change into a pattern of like MSQ, role quest, side quest, MSQ, role quest, side quest. But I do plan to do all of them, including the epilogues that they have. I don't know the specific order I'm going to do the role quests in, though you can assume that I'm going to be doing the tank ones first, as I am still maining Paladin. Aside from that, actually, if anyone has any specific suggestions on the order to do the role quests in, if it seems like it matters in some way, I'm willing to listen to those suggestions because I have no knowledge of them. The only role quests I have done before are the physical DPS Shadowbringers one, because I mained Dancer when I first played through Shadowbringers. Or it was either physical DPS or ranged DPS. I don't remember how because the way the role quests are set up is a little bit different in Shadowbringers and Walker. But I don't remember how the categories were divided. It was the one that you could use Dancer for. Oh, none of the Endwalker role quests are required for the MSQ? Okay. And for the record, the way I will handle the first one in Shadowbringers is doing it as it happens. I don't think you can just start and do all of it all at once. Like if I was 90 Paladin already, I don't think I'd be able to do all of the tank role quests immediately once I was prompted to do one, right? So I think those are like throughout the main story, 0.0. But then like the role quest sections after that, I will be doing all of a role quest line in a row because I will have access to the entire region. Oh, that's exciting. I love to cry. I love having emotions. That sounds like I'm not being sincere, but I am. I remember really liking the one I did do. I guess it was probably ranged DPS, because I think they split it into ranged magical, ranged physical role quests in Endwalker, maybe? It was either... I don't know. Whichever one Dancer can do. Caster DPS Endwalker role quest before the Endwalker finale. I'll make a note of it. Everyone is bowing. I will add maybe caster role quest before 6.0 finale. 6.0 finale question mark to the sucroplans.txt. Oh well, the captions actually understand how to read a file type. When I said .txt.
Ah, there you are.
It worked. Cool. .noid? No, not that annoyed. .noid.
Gosetsu, your hair.
Oh wait, I didn't even see Gosetsu's hair because I was looking at the captions.
My friend, what have you done?
What did he do? Please pan the camera back. Maybe I wasn't... Oh, okay. Maybe I hadn't seen that yet. This is in preparation for Gosetsu to be involved in the Hildebrand quest later.
Raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant when I said the role quest epilogue. I may have been rambling a little bit, but I said it in there somewhere, I think. But yeah, I will be doing the follow-on quest line, as you put it. Also, from I'm gonna say I misremembered this part of the game. I thought Gosetsu died because I remembered the spirit of Gosetsu in the Tsukuyomi fight, but I forgot that they were like spirits representing Yatsuyu's past and whatnot. I thought Gosetsu was just dead. I'm glad that Gosetsu's alive. I just forgot that he lived. Yay, Gosetsu.
All of them?
Well, okay, he's dead in a sense, I guess, like, but you know what I mean. Safe travels or don't leave us, Gosetsu. I like Gosetsu. Would Sucro be attached to Gosetsu and not want him to leave, or would Sucro say safe travels? I'm curious what happens if you say this one more.
This is no forlorn and final farewell. Send me on my way with a smile, my friend.
Gosetsu is one of my favorite characters from Stormblood, like, no contest. I think the Doma crew in general, like, Hien and Gosetsu and Yugiri are the best characters in Stormblood, probably. Like, the best major characters. In my opinion, of course. There are other good characters, but I don't know if they count as, like, major characters. You'd have to, like... I don't know. Basically, those three are really good, and, like, the people of the steppe in general are fun, and that's a good part of the game. Yeah, that's true. He's leaving the narrative on his own terms. It's a good way to put it. It'd be funny if he showed up again later, though. Just like, hey, it's me,
Gosetsu. Said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
I think Stormblood in general, like, talking about... Are we talking about Stormblood as in 4.0 and 4.x, or just 4.0? Because if it's the whole thing, I think I probably do like it in general, but if it's just 4.0, 4.0 is pretty low on my tier list. I've been like mentally organizing things with Point O and Point X series as two separate segments, I guess. Oh, we haven't even seen that part yet in this playthrough, Rika. So we will get to see that pretty soon.
You have earned it 1,000 times over.
I want to say it's probably the next patch, MSQ. So it'll be a little while, but...
Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before.
That's Alize. That's you, Gary. That's Hien. That's Sucro. Do you think that particular camera movement has to, like... That has to have, like, a variable height it can pan to because of your character? I think it'd be fun if Gosetsu just showed up in a really, like, unimportant role later on. Just like, I happen to be on a pilgrimage to the moon today. You know, like you do. Spoilers, the moon. No, don't ban yourself. I think most people here know the game, so they already know that part. And those that don't won't really know what you're talking about, so it's not really a spoiler. But yeah, that's not... We haven't gotten there quite yet, but we will. It'll be far too quiet without Gosetsu around. I wonder if we'll ever see him again. Oh, speaking of reunions, have you spoken with Ihanashi? It turns out his father was among the returning conscripts. Oh. Look at you, boy. Life on the sea has made you strong. Yeah, it can be... Look, to be completely fair, this game has a lot of stuff in it. And it's, like, really easy to, like, not remember when certain things take place. Or, like, not remember all the details. I've certainly forgotten stuff in the order of things, so I say don't worry about it too much. But, like, please try to avoid spoilers, but also don't worry about it too much. Unless you outright tell me that, like, I don't know, Endwalker spoiler, Xenos goes to the, subway and orders a sandwich. I can't think of a funny spoiler joke. I just had a Subway sandwich recently, that's all. I want to hear Xenos say "eat fresh" menacingly. And the only way he knows how to speak is, like, vaguely menacingly. Anyway. Oh no! God. He would, though. Question mark? Would he? Probably not. But it's funny to say that he would. Thank the Kami you spotted that cracked plank. That ship ended up bringing my father home. And the captain said, well, let's just say I'm not a pirate anymore. I'm going to live in Doma with my father. We're free. Imagine if the ending to this little, like, subplot over here was that the father was like, I'll be a pirate too. That sounds rad. Let's be pirates. Okay, Xenos probably would do that. Alright, I already talked to you. Gosetsu relinquished his duties with a grace befitting a samurai lord. I only hope I can fill the void which he's left behind. Ah, Gosetsu, fair journey to you, my friend. A bittersweet occasion, but there's yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray join us in the Kienkan. I would thank you properly. Yo, if they added a golf minigame to this to this and there was a moon level that had like altered gravity, I think that would be rad. With all that out of the way, Doma should be able to look forward to a period of relative calm. As for us, well, we have an intriguing story to tell everyone back at the Rising Stones. If they added a golf minigame, do you think the Loporits would be involved? Loporits? I don't know how you enunciate or pronounce that word entirely yet since I haven't heard anyone say it. I just know that there's funny moon rabbits. But do you think they would be involved with golf? Absolutely, definitely. Okay, got it. That answers my question twice. With the words absolutely and definitely being the answers. I feel like it would probably have an obscure quest chain required to unlock it or something. Lord Hien trained under Gosetsu from the day he was old enough to hold a sword. Though he smiled through all the farewells, none will feel his absence more keenly. Putting way, huh? I think Sucro deserves to play a relaxing round of golf. Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that would never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. Bow, bow. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you I have not forgotten the dark cloud in the horizon. That Xenos lives is a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest. Yet there's little to be done but wait for Alphino to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gosetsu by building a nation in which none need live in fear. Huh. I think I did know that, because I think I did see that when looking up the Warring Triad stuff. I've got all that completed, so that's not a worry. I confess I miss him already, but the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yatsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts, and in Yatsuyu's childlike mien, I don't know how to say that word, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but the little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, had hoped that with her at his side he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the Kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning in Yatsuyu's fate. To deliver her from certain death with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother? Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the Kami is not for us to know. But what I do know is that for a brief moment a girl known as Tsuyu lived among us. And that she brought with her a whisper of respite or respite. Every time I see that word, I have to say it 2 times. For a grieving heart. Nod, nod. Oh, you're right! Scion also lost his family in an invasion, more or less. I didn't think about that. I mean, I know Scion's theme was there and all. Doma owes you a great debt, my friend. Thanks to you, we have everything we need to prosper. You and Alize must promise to visit us again soon, and Alphino too, when he returns from the Empire. Know that my thoughts go with him. However far his pilgrimage may take him, we've not seen the last of Gosetsu. Of that I'm certain. That makes me wonder if you actually do see Gosetsu later. Don't tell me. Hey, remember what I said about digging up Xenos' body to check for that? That looks like it might be what we're doing. Also, Thancred is here, and Lise. I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Stones, let's call in at Ralger's Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lise about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Also, I feel like I rambled and talked extra about stuff a lot this stream. I feel like this could have been a shorter patch, but we were still near 3 hours because of how much I've been adding on to conversations and whatnot. Not that that's a bad thing. I suppose that's what I'm here for. And that is arguably what you're here for, because if you just wanted to watch this game, there's probably like a long play or something. Okay, but a long play of this game would be way too long, so maybe not. But yeah, like, I guess talking is my job? I don't know. There's a turtle over here. That person's name is Ryan Capri Sun. Shoutouts to Capri Sun, I guess. Sucro, Alize, you're back? You're back. Huh? No Alphino? It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. Gasp. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that... If this is a joke... Gods, this had better be a joke. Explaining. Unfortunately, I had a vision, and I don't think my visions do pranks, so... Look, I know what I saw, alright? We all saw it, and here you are saying he's alive and well and living the high life back in Garlemald? I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing in it myself. But while I might doubt the word of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Sucrose. She saw the Crown Prince through the Echo in a meeting that could only have taken place in the recent past. It was him, it was Xenos, or Xenos is alive. Xenos is alive. Oh, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Oh, gilded halls. Whatever are you talking about?
Shoutouts to Capri Sun, the most mean-spirited juice provider to children and their lacking dexterity.
That's one way to think about it. Thancred, what brings you to the Reach? Alphino had me lending a hand at the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on, just until operations were up and running. Now that they are, I thought I might look in on you before wending my weary way back to headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion that the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? Ugh. As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. But if it will put this rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Xenos is buried up at Bloodhow in the Locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked, so as not to upset the locals. And it shouldn't be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Nod. Wait, didn't we just say someone was desecrating his grave? Are we gonna skip over that? You'll find Xenos' grave up at Bloodhow, the burial ground in the Locks. The stone isn't marked, but it's set apart from the others, so it should be obvious enough which one you're after. If this is a landmark that exists on the map, I can only assume it technically is there and can be looked at before this point in the story. I mean, they could have added it to the map later on, but like, in terms of the gameplay, at this point in time, surely this grave is here, like, always. It looks marked to me. Not marked in the way you mean, but still. Most of the graves are grouped together, but they managed to find a lonely spot for Xenos, didn't they? I'm trying to visualize in my mind if Xenos' armor is narrow enough to like fit in this grave, because I think Xenos' shoulders are wider than this with the armor on. I mean, you don't have to bury the guy in his armor, but it's a funny mental image to imagine them trying to bury Xenos and he doesn't fit in the grave because of his wide shoulders that the armor has. That's why he's not going to be in his grave, because it's just like when you try to... Is this Lorem Ipsum? It doesn't... It could be. I don't know. I don't know what language those characters are written in. But, oh, you're kidding. I'm very trusting, apparently. I'm imagining, like, you know how in a cartoon, like, if they put too much stuff in a closet or whatever, and they try to hold it shut, and the overflowing closet will make the door spring open, and all the stuff will fly everywhere in a comedic manner. Xenos is just gonna be absent from the grave because of that, because the armor didn't fit in there. He just sort of, like, exploded out of it with a sproing sound, and then flew all the way back to the Empire, and then they made him better. Clearly that's what happened. There was a very powerful Sonic the Hedgehog spring in the grave. My money's on writhing snakes, possibly spiders. Let's prise it open and see what comes out. Yeah, exactly. This is it. Gods, he'd better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. So no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied? Well then, we're presented with but one course of action. And we best be sure we're not observed in the doing of it. Shall we begin? I hope nobody heard that.
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Nice timing, Weather. Thanks for the assist. Quick, cover it back up. The hole's gonna fill with the rainwater.
I only hope it isn't walking around.
The hole's gonna fill up with the rainwater, and it's gonna be a big pain in the butt to deal with. Oh, look, we were observed. By somebody. Whomstative. Well, they have a katana. Does that narrow it down? We know that they like swords, or at least they own one. If there's no corpse, then are we to conclude that the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alphino's theory of Ascian possession. Oh, wait, have we outright said that Ascian possession was involved? Hey, I think you were just implying that Ascians were, like, assisting. Actually, that's a good question. The voice acting is a little bit sporadic sometimes, but that's just the nature of video game development, I think. I don't think we specifically brought up the idea of Ascian possession until this moment. Like, within the story of the game. Speaking from experience, I can tell you that they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Ascian is walking around in Xenos' body? It seems a distinct possibility. Once I put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly dead. But yeah, now that Ascian possession has been brought up, that seems like a pretty good explanation for why Xenos didn't sound anything like Xenos in terms of what he was saying. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Ralban needs to hear about this. If you find anything out, send word to me at Ralger's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones, then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. Nod. Are we gonna leave this... Are we gonna leave this way? Is Thancred in charge of covering the grave up by himself? I guess so. Have fun, Thancred. How's everyone around here doing? I know Grandfather and Home have yet to discuss it, but with the liberation of Doma, it's surely only a matter of time before the refugees decide to return to the Far East, no? I wonder if that dialogue is the dialogue that's been here for a while, or if that's new. We gathered what scraps of intelligence we could, myself from within Eorzea and Alphino from his Far Eastern sources, but there's a limit to what a bloke can learn about the Empire from outside its borders. Still, I'd never think to invite myself aboard a bloody Imperial airship. It was impulsive, reckless. You gotta admire the lad's style. Okay, so this is new dialogue. Another mission fraught with danger, yet here I am still. Quiet moments such as this, spent in carefree conversation with comrades, I've grown to cherish most. Those of us who were afield have finally returned. Full glad am I to have everyone back. The place had been too quiet. And the Clown Brigade's over here. I don't think we need to speak to all of these people. Colton A can be able to speak. It would seem Master Alphino has placed himself squarely in the path of danger. As a fellow scion, I shall render whatever aid I can to ensure his safe return. Though he is but half the size of my courageous brother, 'twould seem Alphino's bravery looms twice as large. Even Hori might hesitate before embarking alone into the heart of the Empire. The real Clown Brigade is some of the people over here anyway. Seeing Home go about his duties with a smile lifts my heart even as it brings a tear to my eye. Glad though I am for his nation's liberation, I shall be saddened to see him go. I hope Isilduar can find someone to keep him company. With our missions, we can never linger very long. Okay. There's only one Clown Brigade, and it's Aenor. Perish, okay. And by Cloud Brigade, I don't know why I'm calling them a Clown Brigade, because clowns aren't known for that particular nature, necessarily. Anyway, moving on. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Urianger over Linkpearl and gave him a full report. Y'shtola is on her way and should be here any... Ah. That means Y'shtola is here, I guess. Alize, Sucro, 'tis good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? A lot. Explaining. Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that an Ascian now inhabits Xenos' body. A doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Sucro? Nay, Alphino had the right of it. Would that his wisdom extended to the question of his own safety. Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold in the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as not. Fold arms. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but... I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace... I wish this music was diegetic and just playing on something in the background. Hey, look, it's these two. We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead, and the right beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan. Every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there's no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of this star. I think Varus has probably figured out by this point that that's not Xenos. Meanwhile, in the place where we keep all the robots, I guess. Huh? What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. Hey, remember this theme? Hey, does this theme sound familiar? Hey, remember what characters are associated with this theme and also swords? What are you? Have you lost your mind? Hey, remember who's good with swords and also is associated with this theme and likes swords? I've lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Okay, we're just spelling it out, I guess. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins, embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. Hey Xenos, how did that happen? Yeah, the pacing of this is pretty good. Okay. Xenos somehow in somebody else's body just piloting this sky armor is funnier than it should be. I don't know if I'd say the pacing is weird. I'd say, like, it's probably pretty good, actually. Anyway, that's the patch. That's it. That's 4.3 under the Moonlight. Oh, Xenos being in that guy's body. Gotcha. It is weird. I don't remember the entire explanations for it. But I think we do know at this point that Xenos has the artificial echo. And, like, also we know that an Ascian has taken over his body. So I guess he just had to respawn in a different body, and that's all there is to it, right? It's just the echo shenanigans. That wacky echo at it again. Anyway, this has only been 3 hours, and I'm doing okay. This might be a good time to proceed into a small thing that I need to do at some point. Which is, there's a quest line to unlock stuff in the Doman Enclave. Now, I will not be showing everything about the Doman Enclave restoration, but it was suggested that... Okay, I got thrown for a loop because this is yet another Viera with black hair that fades to pink. Standing somewhere where I was going. But no, not that one. Different one. Different Viera. They're everywhere, I tell you. Very popular hair configuration for the Viera, for some reason. What was I doing? But yeah, I'm not going to show the entire Doman Restoration, but it was suggested to me that I show the process of unlocking it, which is like a mini little quest chain. So I might as well. I think that starts over here, if I had to guess. So why not? Let's do that. Gasp. Oh, Sucro, it's a rare honor indeed to receive heroes such as you. Bow. Pray allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kozakura, and I manage the accounts of the Shazenkai. Oh, but you must be unfamiliar with our organization. Forgive me. At present, we're largely concerned with facilitating the reconstruction and revitalization of the Enclave. Needless to say, we have our work cut out for us. It's quite fortuitous, actually, you being here. I'd mind to petition your assistance. Whoa, there, calm down, says Sucro. Ah, right you are. It's rather difficult to converse while staring at one's feet, and you would doubtless benefit from an explanation. As you may know, the Enclave was once the economic and cultural center of Doma. Alas, it suffered terrible devastation at the hands of the Empire both during and following the failed rebellion of yesteryear. That it and other ruins might stand as testament to the folly of resistance, extensive reconstruction was forbidden by the Imperial Viceroy. Of course, that's no longer a concern. This feels like a good time to have picked that up, now that she's definitely dead. At long last, we're free to rebuild the Enclave, to restore the heart of our once great nation and show the world that Doma lives on. But as I said before, we have our work cut out for us. We have limited funds and material resources, not to mention a lack of skilled craftsmen. Which brings me back to the matter I wish to discuss with you, that of our brothers and sisters in Eorzea, the refugees that settled in Revenant's Toll. I'm given to understand that they've worked closely with the local leadership to build and maintain much of the settlement. Many knew trades before they left, and those that did not doubtless learned that they might earn their keep. If they were to return home and aid us in the reconstruction effort, it would be a tremendous boon. Would you be willing to speak with them on our behalf? Leave it to me. Ah, Sucro, taken an interest in the Shazenkai? Ian is also here. Well, this seems as good a time as any to discuss the matter. I'm grateful beyond measure to you and the Scions of the Seventh Dawn for welcoming Yugiri and my people in their hour of need. As the beneficiaries of this kindness, they've made every effort to repay you and the people of Revenant's Toll. Nevertheless, we here bear a responsibility as well. Kozakura, if you would be so kind. Yes, my lord. We will send them a considerable gift as a gesture of gratitude and goodwill. However, I would like that missive to be delivered to the Adventurers Guild representative in advance. If you were to personally hand it to the man, I would be honored. Nod. Excellent. I knew I could count on you, my friend. Pardon my interruption, Kozakura. I look forward to seeing your progress. She really can't. She's doing her best. Oh dear, I hope we don't disappoint him. Anyway, I'll not keep you. Thank you again for the assistance and safe travels. Does she automatically bow when you approach as well? I thought I remembered her doing that. Maybe not. Mechanically speaking, the Doman Restoration is going to involve turning in a lot of like equipment and stuff for points. Which works out because I'll have a lot of random stuff from my retainers to give them, probably. But I won't be showing most of the Doman Restoration stuff on screen, as I said, once I unlock it. What's that, Sucro? Business concerning the Domans? A letter penned by Lord Hien himself and addressed to Slaffborn of Revenant's Toll. I see, I see. Lord Hien really needn't have gone to such trouble. But I know all too well how much our Far Eastern friends worry themselves over decorum. As for the matter of the refugees' repatriation, I'll not lie. We've come to view them as family, and will be sorry to see them go, many of the other fellow frontier hands especially. So let us do you one better. I shall appeal to their Eorzean comrades and invite them to accompany the Domans on their journey, that they too might aid in the reconstruction of the Enclave. I expect many will jump at the opportunity. A costly thing to send so many people, to be sure, but owing to Lord Hien's generosity, we seem to have found ourselves with a surplus of funding. Huh, I didn't realize retainers could just find, like, items that sell for money. It's hard to imagine the toll without the Doman refugees. They helped make it what it is today. Ah, what am I saying? This is a happy occasion. Go and tell Hozan the news. I'm sure he'll be overjoyed. Oh, how much is elegant silver worth? I remember, like, just donating items and stuff to the restoration, rather than... money or, like, items that are worth money. I just remember, like, donating equipment, I guess? How very good to see you, my friend, though not at all expected. You look as though you have something important to say, do you? Explaining. I know not what to say. Return to Doma? Has the day truly come at last? Wait here while I summon the others. This concerns them all. Yeah, I usually just donated what my retainers gave me, and I have the same number of retainers now, so... My word, and they're already making arrangements for our return. Nod. Various celebratory gestures. And some surprise. And thinking. Why the long face, Higiri? This is cause for celebration. It is I. Like all of you, I've dreamed of this day since the moment we left Yangsha. But now that it's arrived, I cannot help but think of those to whom we owe so much, Slathborn especially. Indeed, even if it were possible to leave this very moment, I could not. Not until I thanked the people here for everything they've done for us. I remember when we first arrived in this land and learned of its troubles. Though disappointed, I understood why no one would grant us shelter. Who were we? Why risk so much for strangers? But this place and these people were different. When all others turned us away, Revenant Toll welcomed us with open arms. I love Doma and Lord Hien with all my heart and want nothing more than to return and help rebuild. But I implore you, Hozan, we must first do our utmost to repay their boundless kindness. Never did I intend for us to disappear into the night like thieves and vagabonds. Everything you said is right and true. All labors we've undertaken will be seen to a measure of completion. That much goes without saying, I'm sure. I will speak with Slathborn and ensure that we have enough days to prepare for our journey. In the meantime, I would encourage you all to prepare gifts and so forth. Very good, very good. It would not do to leave without saying proper farewells, else we would labor under a cloud of regret. At my age, one appreciates every opportunity to put their affairs in order. After all, I may not weather the journey home, much less another one to Eorzea. Ah, given your constitution, Father, I should not be surprised if you bury us all. If you have no pressing obligations, Sucro, might I impose upon you to assist us with our final preparations? Since this is all quite sudden, many of our people require a second opinion on a farewell gift or something else. All that I ask is that you make yourself available for any such consultations. Would that be all right? Leave it to me. Thank you, my friend. We will look for you near the northern gate. Quickly now, everyone. Let us not keep Sucro waiting. I like how much individual, character everyone in that group had in their reactions to this scene. Like, just the way all of them left was like a little bit different for everybody, and I just think that's interesting. Assisting the Doman refugees with their final preparations will take several minutes. Oh, this is just like part of unlocking stuff in the firmament in how it's structured. That's kind of funny. I didn't show that on screen. Maybe I should have? Like, this is literally the same. First person and stuff included. That's funny. That happened after this, to be clear. So kind of you to spare the time to help us with something so trivial. No doubt you have many other important matters to attend to. Anyway, I wanted to ask your opinion on a gift I wish to give a dear friend of mine before leaving. Isildur. You remember Isildur, do you not? Alian's grandfather? Though older than me, the two of them were still going on grand adventures before they joined the Scions. Ah, how I envy his vigor. Though we have done little more than drink tea and speak of our children, I have cherished his company. I will miss him, truly. Alas, in recent days his body's begun to get the better of him, and so I was thinking of giving him something for his health. Do you have any suggestions? Eye drops, a tonic for his memory, or anything for his back. I think he's complained about his back before. Ah, I thought so too, but I'm glad to see you agree. I swear, not a day goes by without him complaining about his back. It is a great comfort knowing that the Scions are well aware of their comrades' conditions. It shows how much you care for one another. Now then, I must procure the ingredients for my home remedy. My thanks to you. Homais departs in high spirits, satisfied with your suggestion. Yeah, this is structured exactly the same way that the firmament, part of the firmament questline is, I think. I don't know if I'll get all of the answers correct. My friend, if you could spare a moment of your time. The toll is home to many interests to which we owe a great deal. But there's one in particular to which we should definitely pay respects. Rowena's House of Splendors. The house has been an invaluable source of goods and services in both professional and personal matters. I'm sure you too can say the same. Looks at my completed relic weapon and animal weapon. Looks directly into the camera. Maybe? And so I thought to bid farewell to the one representative with whom I've worked most closely. If you would look to the counter by the gate. I speak of the raven-haired beauty by the gate. Of all Rowena's girls, she's been very helpful. There is a problem, however. I cannot for the life of me remember her name. They all sound so similar. Perhaps it's my Doman ear. Oh no. But you know her name, surely. Please tell me that I might have a proper conversation with her before I return to my homeland. Okay, the dialogue is funny, though. Eilina, I thought she dealt with primal arms and whatnot. Or Ariana, I didn't know you collected tomestones. Or Larina, since when did you collect ritual tools? Or Gojusana, so you're interested in the Zodiac Braves? Or Papana, oh, so you're really interested in the Zodiac Braves? I don't think the last two options are there if you don't have the relic weapon questline stuff. That's pretty funny. It's definitely not the last two because they're not any of the ones stationed there. It's one of the first three. I think it's one of the first two? Does anyone know this? Help. Doman Enclave quests. I can't remember NPC names, let alone ones that are specifically designed to sound familiar. I'm looking at the quest after this one, I think. I think you're right. I think it's literally presenting them in a left to right order and then 2 bonus ones that are elsewhere because of the relic weapon questline. It is the first one. Okay. I found his script. The script does not tell you what they say if you pick the wrong answers. So, yeah. It's Eilina. That's it. I remembered as soon as you said it. I knew I was right to ask you. They say you're perhaps the house's most valued customer. Sucro looks directly into the camera again. Looks at her weapon again. Rowena is kind of a nightmare to deal with. Rowena and company. Anyway, I'd best go and speak with her before I forget again. Iware departs in high spirits, grateful for your assistance. Who's this tiny child? Sucro, have you seen a carbuncle roaming about? Over the course of my time here in Revenant's Toll, I've come to know many adventurers, including an arcanist with a somewhat disobedient companion. Seems every day her carbuncle wanders off on its own, you see, and today is no exception. For a mercy, it will respond to its name more earnestly when it's called by someone other than its owner, strangely enough. The problem is I cannot seem to recall what it was. Some sort of gemstone, I think? What? There's a carbuncle in Mordona? I knew there was a carbuncle in, like... Oh no, this is opening the same window. Okay, it's fine. I knew there's a carbuncle in Idleshire. It's Ruby, apparently. Okay. Sucro knows everything. Ruby, how could I forget? She named it for the red jewel in its forehead. I remember that happens sometimes in Idleshire, and I was thinking Topaz, because I think it's a Topaz carbuncle in Idleshire. This is the kind of question that I would know if I had, like, any reason to hang around in Mordona. So I think I knew this back in the day because Mordona used to be an in-game hub area. But yeah. Yeah, I was thinking Topaz, but I don't know. Thank you for your help, Sucro. I will join her in the search right away. I predict that when I'm looking around, I will see the carbuncle in the distance. Higiri departs in high spirits and begins calling out for Ruby at once. Sure enough, the errant carbuncle soon appears. Oh, okay. I was expecting the carbuncle to just be like over there somewhere. Lalafells are panicking in the distance, and I don't know why. Funny background details. I think one Lalafell is still panicking. The other 3 have departed. The Lalafell is chasing the other 3 Lalafells. How fortunate I am that you're still here. My father told me how you helped him, and I was hoping you might do the same for me. I seek your wisdom concerning Slathborn of the Adventurers Guild, who helped secure us a place here in Revenant's Toll. Thanks to him, we were able to work side by side with the frontier hands to build these walls and lay these cobblestones. We were given food and shelter, it's true, but more importantly, we were given purpose. We have of course already expressed our gratitude to him many times before. I myself presented Slapborn with a Doman dagger, which I'm told he treasures. But now that we must part ways, I feel as though we must make one final grand gesture, a more elaborate, expensive gift, perhaps, or... well, what do you think? I don't know why I had to double check this one. Maybe just try and stay in touch? Really? We should be glad to maintain our relationship with Slapborn and the Toll, but do you truly believe that in of itself is enough? Slapborn has directly said basically that he doesn't need a lot of like fancy ceremony and whatnot. Perhaps you have the right of it. Considering the lengths he's gone to ease our burdens, spending exorbitant sums on farewell gifts may only frustrate him. That too. Besides, whatever we purchased would come from the Eorzean markets. Better to wait until we've returned to our homeland that we might send them something more Doman. Dried persimmons from my village, perhaps? Hosen's eyes sparkle as he considers the possibilities, clearly satisfied with your suggestion. How go your efforts, brothers and sisters? Speaking. By all accounts, it could not have gone any better, and we owe it all to you, my friend. We are forever in your debt. I guess. Hosen, you were going to meet with Slapborn one last time, were you not? We were hoping you would allow us to accompany you. If so, please let us know when you do. I looked up the answers for the last three. There are some few matters I must attend to before I speak with Slapborn, but it should not take much... That's Palai, is it not? Formerly of the Crystal Braves. Another kind-hearted soul to whom we owe much. She looks as though she's searching for something or someone. Sukro, I know it's not my place to ask, but would you assist her? I would myself if I could, but with our impending journey. In order to undertake the subsequent quest, you must first complete the Doman Adventurers Guild quest, Short Arms of the Law. Oh. You have to do a whole bunch of random side story quests here that I didn't know were important. That are level 54? Huh. That makes sense, I guess. Sukro, my, it seems so long since Castrum Sentry. Don't you recognize me? No, I suppose you wouldn't remember everyone you rescue. And I looked quite different when we met, dressed in my uniform. I'm Resh Palali. It's been quite some time since, but I served with the Crystal Braves 4th Unit, until everything fell apart, that is. Everyone went their own ways. Some followed Captain Ilberd, others found new work together, and I've kept busy guarding the frontier hands here. A little too busy, in fact. I can scarce find a moment to spend with my family. I actually was here to do the Doman Adventurers Guild stuff and thought I was doing that. Actually. The transition wasn't entirely easy. I was bedridden after Castrum Sentry, and by the time I was fit for duty, the Crystal Braves just weren't anymore. In a strange way, I have my injuries to thank for keeping me from the worst of it. Oh, speaking of that, you're close to the Domans, aren't you? Would you happen to know where Roka is? She aided in my recovery, and, well, it's quite embarrassing that I didn't notice until now, but... Shake head. There was a great misunderstanding, you see. Her earrings were bundled up in my bags. I've been trying to return them, but those children are neither seen nor heard. I can't find her no matter how much I look. I'm sure the girl misses her earrings, but I simply don't have the time to track her down. Leave it to me. What? Do you really have a spare moment to look for her in my stead? Nod. Oh, thank you, Sukro. Thank you so much. There you are. I've heard the Doman children visit the House's splendors, though never when I'm there for some reason. But speak with Rowena. Very little escapes her, even invisible children. Even got the quest accepted prompts that's from Heavensward. So, I don't know how much time this takes, and I think I'm going to have to abruptly interrupt here because I can feel my voice exploding. Not exploding. I can feel that I need to not be talking this much for a bit. So this will have to be an abrupt end, and we'll have to pick up here next time, I guess? The actual thing that was next in line will, I suppose, happen after this is done. The next goal on the list of side quest chains, other than this one, was Heaven on High. So next time will probably be this quest line and some of that. I didn't remember how involved this one was, but I think it is worth showing. I do agree with that. Cool shelf. But yeah, that being said, my throat is starting to hurt from talking too much. So I should probably stop doing a quest line that requires me to read a lot of dialogue. That makes logical sense. So yeah. This will be a somewhat abrupt end. Because it seemed like I was starting something, but now I have to stop. But that's okay. Streams don't have to be super long. So, this has been Final Fantasy XIV, Stormblood, 4.3, Under the Moonlight, and a little bit of Doman Restoration stuff leading into the Doman Adventurers Guild stuff. On Friday, we will begin by resuming this quest line and possibly lead into Heaven on High, but I can't really guarantee it because I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know how much of Heaven on High I could manage. We'll find out. We'll find out. Next Monday will, of course, be Pokemon Green more. And then, well, more Stormblood on the stream days after that. But also, I think I'm going to try to have a bonus stream of something else tomorrow. And that something else is I would like to begin an experiment with Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. I need to figure out if there's any merit to that game, I guess is one way to put it. One way to put it rudely. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis has existed for 2 years now. They are celebrating their second anniversary in-game. And for this entirety of 2 years, many people have complained about the lack of content that the game has. A lot of the gameplay revolves around a grind that is running in circles around an area and killing stuff forever. Very old school MMO if you think about it. But I have an experiment in mind because that game also has had mechanisms to catch you up to whatever big content patch they released. Like when they released a new region, there'd be like quests that are like, hey, talk to me and get 50 million experience points and a cool weapon or whatever. And I want to know if I create a new character in Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, how quickly can I do all of the story content that exists in the game? I guess this would include little side stories because they did add those. But I'm curious, so that's going to be another side project currently relegated to bonus stream territory. And also, even though that game is kind of a mess, the actual gameplay part's a little fun, and I made a character design for this idea that I immediately got attached to. Because she's a cat girl that's going to commit a crime, probably. Character design not final, but where is she? Where is she? There she is. Definitely a crime doer we've got over here. So yeah, maybe tomorrow it might be time for the adventures of Juniper here in Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. We can all experience that game as a new character after the episode 1, as it were, of the storyline has come to a conclusion. And I say cat girl, but actually the only tail accessory I could afford was like a group of 9 tails. So I guess she's a kitsune instead. But, you know, originally the idea was cat girl do crimes, but I guess it's kitsune do crimes. That's a different Toho character. Katsune? Maybe. Katsune Miku? Probably not. Actually, given her hair color, that's like Miku adjacent. Anyway. So maybe that tomorrow, I don't know. There's also still Pokemon Infinite Fusion lurking in the bonus stream zone that might be continued at some point. All that aside, I said I needed to stop talking and then I talked a bunch for like 10 more minutes. So, thank you all for watching. If you would like to see social media links or links to donation stuff, I've just put... that's not working, actually. Why isn't this working? Hold on. It's not working, but you can, like, see the link on the screen right now. So, like... whatever. Not too important. But also, like, if you're not already following, it would be helpful if you would consider following, if you liked what the stream was all about. It'd be helpful if you recommended the stream to other people who you think might like it. It'd be helpful if you subscribed and stuff. I keep saying I think it's followers that I need to, like, have more funny emotes and whatnot, but I think I actually need subscribers also. I don't know how this Twitch.television works. I just say words on the internet. Don't worry too much about it, though. I don't desperately need any monetary support. All that said, I hope that you all have a nice rest of your day. Have a good day, evening, week, month. And, yeah, I'll see you on the next stream. Farewell, everyone. Pachoo. I don't know why I felt the need to make a signing off sound effect. Good night.